Welcome to Dan's tutorial on programming vocals. Now I'm going to show you how to program vocals for track. The track in question I'm going to use today is Tainted Love. So the first thing I'm going to do is select sounds. Now I'm going to do this via Reason, so I'm going to rewire it into Cubase. I go into Reason, make sure I've got my sounds set up, so I have a quick look and I've got selected all my sounds. Then it's on a combinator, so I make sure that once I've press tab and turn it round, that the output of the combinator up here is actually plugged in. Yes, it is, so that's good. Then make sure it's named vocals, and then I'm gonna press tab again so it's still all there. Go back to Cubase, click on the output, and it should be, there we go, on Reason vocals. Brilliant. So I get a sound. Now my sound is kind of cutty. It's quite moany, a bit like the man himself. Yeah, there you go, Mark Almond. That sounds like you. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to move this vocal track here so it's slightly easier to be able to work with the original audio track. So just click on it and hold it and then drag it up to the top, just underneath where the original vocal track is. And I'll let go and it says vocals. Now, I'm going to solo the vocal one, but I'm also going to solo the audio track. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to learn as accurately as possible the first couple of lines of how he sings and then try and recreate that by playing it on the keyboard. So first of all, I'm just going to practice. So got to wait for the intro. And there we go.
Sometimes I feel I've got to.
So I'm going to go back again and have another listen.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away.
Just press record over here on my. I need to put it in record to be able to hear anything. So now I need to go back and have another go. So I do that again and press play.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to.
Okay, so I've sort of got it right. So the next thing I'm going to do is have a little go at recording it. So press record. I've given myself at least a bar in.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain driving.
So I've got the first few bars down. Now this is where the next bit happens. Next thing I'm going to do is double click on this block here that says vocals. So I do that and it gives me a bunch of interestingnesses, and all these interestingnesses are called notes. Now I'm zooming in using the zoom thing down the bottom, and I'm going to play it back at the same time as listening to it. So I'm going to have a quick listen to see what it sounds like.
Sometimes I feel I've got to.
I'm making sure that whilst it's playing back, I've got this thing up here clicked on. It will follow this follows the line thing across, or the time thing, or whatever it's called. There's probably a posh word for it.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away.
Okay, so I've got it close, but not close enough. So the next thing I'm going to do is start editing these really accurately. So the first thing I'm going to do is move it a little bit. So because it's on quantize 8s, it moves it quite tight, but I might quantize it to 16s. So watch this.
Sometimes
There we go. So
sometimes I feel I've got to.
this one's a bit late. This got to.
I've got to.
So I need to move him over a little.
I've got to.
Now it's too early. So here's a little trick. I need to split the difference. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the snap off here and move it over a little. not a lot. Then I put the snap back on to avoid me programming without it going in the right place. Now the runaway is definitely late. So I need to right. The other thing he does is, once I've got that sorted, I'm doing the getaway as well. And this is too early. Now another thing he does quite a lot of, Mr. Mark Almond, is he makes up for his lack of ability to sing the right note by bending the notes. Some may say this is good craftsmanship when you can't sing. So here he goes. To like a gorilla. So here's a little trick. Down here you have your velocity, which you all know about. I'm going to drop it down to pitch bend in this little menu here. When I go to pitch bend and use the the draw tool, I can draw stuff in like this. Look. Woo! It's amazing. Now, I don't really want him to sound like E.T., so I'm going to undo that using the Control and Z button. Then I'm going to zoom in again, and I want him to say, I'm going to have a quick look, listen. I'm going to get him to go to, like that, just like that. Again, I'm going to take the snap to grid off and draw it in very carefully. That wasn't careful at all, so I press Control and Z. And this time I've got it going up. Now the next thing I need to do is make sure it comes back down again after the note's finished. So I've done that, then I put the snap to grid in. And then afterwards, I'm now going to select the rubber tool and rub out the bit afterwards. And it doesn't work. In that case, what I'm going to do is select the draw tool and draw it exactly on 0. See over here it's got a little thing there. Draw it on 0. There we go. And what that does is it resets the pitch bend so that next time you use the pitch bend it will be right in the middle of the note rather than up high here or down low. There we go. Now it is like a dog. There we go. So that's how to start recording your vocals. Now obviously the more pitch bends and stuff you use when they're appropriate, the better your vocal's going to be. You can use exactly the same methods for the backing tracks, but for the backing vocals, forgive me. But if when you do add another backing vocal, watch this. If we add another backing vocal, a MIDI one, and it puts it underneath, and we call this one backing vocal. Remember, I'm going to solo them all. The pitch bend, if we use it on the same Reason Vocals thing, is going to affect the backing vocal at the same time because they're both using the same sound source. So if I just want him to sing like long notes without pitch bending, they're both going to pitch bend at the same time. So you might want to think about they're both doing the same thing. So what you might want to do is change the sound of this one to something else. It's totally up to you. I would personally recommend that you don't use the same sound for both, but if you feel they're working, then it doesn't matter. That concludes my tutorial on vocals. I hope it's helped you. Bye-bye.